All right, Shawn, this letter is to you. You are 44 years old. It is December 14th, 2021, and I want you to remember this going forward. Your vision is to live a life of freedom, live a life of joy, live a life of encouragement, and inspire others to do the same. Your purpose is to create experiences that allow people to transform their lives through seeing the joy, to seeing their natural talents and skills and their calling develop, and to be a part of the journey of coaching other people and supporting others as they become fully immersed in who they are meant to be, just like you are immersed in who you are meant to be. My top goals are in my action steps. I am trying to, and I will, my goals are to build a 8-figure business that supports itself from generation to generation, that incorporates team members, employees, subcontractors, family members, and allow me to diversify my talents and skills by creating music, creating retreats, consulting, coaching, and being a part of the most influential conversations, whether they be on the street corner next to where I live in Harlem, or they be in the boardroom downtown in Manhattan. SPs to look out for. I know that my survival patterns tend to be coping mechanisms such as gambling, porn, sex with a bunch of people, as well as looking at ways to get away from just regular life. So procrastinating, oversleeping. So those are my procrastination. Those are my tools, and the action steps to get out of that and to get into my goals include taking a clear calendar and making sure that I have it laid out as I do currently, where I know what I'm doing every morning from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m., which includes waking up, working out, meditation, purposing and goaling, and just thinking about the next steps, and then jumping into work. It's got to be movement every day. It's got to be 30 minutes of movement every day. There's got to be times of writing my gratitude every day, and times of just spending time, working on what the goals are, what the next steps would be for the business. So meeting with people who are influential and building retreats, talking with my team members who are helping build the consulting firm, building up coaching training practices and writing content, putting that time into my purpose and goals in an hour every day during a weekday. What to do when I have a setback. So when I jump back into porn, when I jump back into my addiction, when I jump back into gambling and I see it's happening more and more frequently, the first thing I need to do is just come back and revisit this video, come back and revisit my survival patterns and my limiting beliefs. A lot of times my limiting beliefs are rooted in the idea that I just didn't believe that I was going to be valuable and of importance to somebody else. I'm going back in the book now a little bit to look at some of the victim consciousness that I had from growing up. And I believe that a lot of times that I didn't trust my mom inherently. My boss didn't have my side, didn't have me in his great graces, and wasn't advocating for me. My coaches tried to embarrass me in basketball to make me feel like I wasn't a good player. My dad was so self-centered I didn't, perhaps get the adoration and the relationship from him that I wanted. And I was always looking at someone else as having permission to give me the right to do what I want to do, and as if someone else had their life figured out and I didn't. So I was always looking for someone else to give me that validation. I also look at some of the patterns that I wrote and some of the things, the stories I told myself and my limiting behaviors. Story number 1, I can't find a long-term life partner. No one will accept. Story number 2, no one will accept all of me, so I got to hide some of me. Story number 3, I want to avoid getting sued, so I stay under the radar and don't build my business, and I use other people's content instead of working on my original stuff. Step number 3, harder work doesn't pay, so why work hard? Just be lazy. Step number 5, I'm not anybody's priority. It's all about me, and I'm by myself, so no one's really looking out for me. So understanding that those are limiting beliefs that really actually undergird a lot of the survival patterns that kick in. So when I'm getting into those patterns, I have to remember the actual things that are actually true. Remember that when that anxiety comes in my chest, that weakness comes in my legs, that void comes in my stomach, that unstable feeling comes in my mind, and that smallness comes in my body, that there's some ways that I can actually deal with that and begin to transform the way I approach my coping mechanism going forward. So here's what I can do, is to remember a couple of things about my reality. Number 1, I never have to fit in to conform. I never have to conform or fit in. Number 2, honesty. Stay honest with who I'm at, where I'm feeling, communicate about that. Step number 3, don't follow other people. Lead the way. No one has the roadmap. No one's got it perfectly figured out. Your way is going to provide for you. It always has, it always will. Step number 3, create other spaces where God can be talked about. Create other spaces where there can be spiritual development. That's my job, and I'm a pastor of a certain different kind of community. And step number 4, I can talk about the past. The past, it can be revisited. I can be honest about it, approach it, and realize that I can actually have the power. The why behind it, why can I overcome these coping mechanisms? Because I want love, I want to feel loved. I want to serve, I want to feel served. And I want to create the friendship and relationships around me that are going to enable me to be powerful. As I think also about some of the other things that have come up in my emotional blueprint, I think about some things that really have reminded me of the moments that have given me joy. My mom holding my hand walking to school, me having musical sessions with my siblings, me having the graduation valedictorian speech in 6th grade, me having my first $100,000 check, me having a partner who I convinced to love me back. And so I know that joy and validation are the 2 main motivators for me and primary emotions that undergird my life's work, as well as I think of as is emerging is also encouragement and resourcefulness. I have to remember my hierarchy, which is that it is me, then God, then others. I think me and God are synonymous, and so God operating in me and me breathing out these words is God operating. So I think it is God remembering to put myself first and my thoughts and trusting myself fully in that process. Don't give up on that as well. Remembering to slow down. Take time to slow down and meditate on who I want to be. Don't just keep going at the pace that the world decides for me. Let me take time to do the things that make me feel like I'm getting some action. My actions are building my website, setting up payments to my new assistant, getting a new team member to help me manage everything, working out and eating right every day, pursuing the right relationship, especially as it matters, coaching, prep, and staying sharp with my skills and building something into my daily walk. Not being afraid of death. Understand that I am committing to being a person of wellness because I believe that I'll have a partner who is going to love me deeply. I believe I have someone who's going to sacrifice with me. I believe I'm going to have the vulnerability to be able to make the relationship to grow and become what I want it to be. And remember that it's time for me to grow up. I'm no longer the wounded child. I'm no longer someone who's just looking for someone to repeat a pattern of hurt in my life. I'm no longer entrenched in that woundology that allows me to just stay in a place of waiting for someone to nurture me. And so I'm no longer that. And I'm no longer just avoiding the things that make me feel uncomfortable. I'm going to address those things and talk about those things directly. I'm going to address my partner and talk about the difficult conversations. I'm going to be honest, even when I don't feel like I don't want to have sex with her, or I don't feel like I want to be with her, but I know I want to commit and I want to practice through those difficult feelings. I'm going to be honest. I need and want daily downloads for my career and my personality type. I need something downloaded so I can remember to daily stay committed to who I'm supposed to be and not have shame about any of that. Remember that I am empowered. I don't have to be fully a victim every time I go through a situation that makes me feel uncomfortable or frozen. I can be fully empowered and in control by speaking openly about the wounds that are making me feel uncomfortable in these moments. I'm 100% responsible for my choices, my circumstances, and how I respond in my life. And so I'm going to unlock my potential. I'm going to let it flow going forward, creating deeper relationships, expanding my business, expanding my coaching, never stopping those relationships that are good for me, not being jealous of people who I admire, celebrating the success of others. I'm planning celebrations, taking time out of my schedule to do that, and to build more relationships with those who are going to put me in the right place, as well as making sure that I'm also in the right place and being mentored by Mike and Cleveland and Alan and all those who I admire, who I know who can mentor me and make me more ready for the next place to brave the storm. All right, so I want to get married. I want to be in the greatest shape of my life and be living at 170 to 175 on a regular basis. I want to have $250,000 saved in my bank account in the next year. I want to be able to build transformative retreats. I want to give strategy, thinking, and freedom to my coping mechanisms, and I want to fully unleash myself on my own business starting 2022. Right now, I'm in a pretty good space, and I'm going to keep pushing myself toward that. And it's important that I can turn the help to my friends and my colleagues when it's time. All right, that's my 10-minute video for my lifetime. Let's make it the best life ever. Go for it. Nothing's going to stop me. I'm all the way up, baby.